Let's talk about the two letters that everybody's talking about now, AI. How are you using AI, or how would you use AI as a reseller?
If you are creating product pages, AI is going to help you get it better. And a unexperienced reseller can make images as good as a graphic designer. That's pretty powerful.
Hey guys, my name is Nick Milani. I've been selling on Amazon for the last 7 years, but that is minuscule compared to the guest that I have here, Scott Needham, a top 10 Amazon seller at one point, has done over $400 million in sales. Absolutely nuts. The scale, the man, the myth, the legend.
You know, it sounds high and mighty, but I get started at humble beginnings. You know, I was there when we were under $1 million, and I just think that it really does represent the scale that the marketplace presents. It's big, and you position your business really well, and you can grow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we all started at ground zero, and some of us have scaled it tremendously, and so that's why we're here. I would love to pick your brain just to understand what it took, and ultimately see if we can help our viewers out to just get some insight. Why don't we start there? Tell me ground zero. Tell us a little bit about how you got started, and then ultimately what the landscape was back then versus what it looks like today.
Yeah. I mean, in a lot of ways, it's still the same. It really is. It's, some of the fees, of what it takes to become a profitable business. You still have to learn that today as what I in 2012. That was the core of the business, is understanding what profitable products that we could source from suppliers, brands, or distributors, and just kind of grow that. There was competition back then, but it was a little bit of the Wild West. That's it's kind of but even today, it's still a bit of the Wild West. There's so many categories, niches, and that have a lot of demand. I mean, I think Americans love buying on Amazon, and so what's changed is I think there was maybe 50 million Prime subscriptions, and now there's well over 150. I don't know the exact number, but a lot of things have are really kind of the same. That it's allowed third-party sellers just to grow.
Yeah. I mean, let's clarify. You are primarily wholesale.
Correct.
And so what's exciting is that when you started back then, it was a great opportunity, but now it's still a great opportunity. Would you consider that?
Yeah. I think I still see businesses. I talk to sellers all the time, and I still see some that I'm you have an edge that you've cornered, people that really have a lot of expertise in a category. I came across someone that was doing health and medical equipment, and it looks like, you know what you're doing. And so I think expertise in a category matters more now, because then you just kind of see opportunities a little bit better.
Yeah. Everyone can find their own niche and pretty much go deep into it. In terms of the next few years of Amazon, especially when it comes to reselling, what's your vision? What do you see being the right thing to do?
So there are a lot of successful resellers. And one of the differentiators between those that make it to the top is working with brands in concert with them. Because not all brands maybe they're not e-commerce ready. And resellers actually kind of they push that. They find those opportunities. They take some of these really old legacy brands and make their products available on Amazon. And so I see that as always a big opportunity. There are still many name brand products that that are yet to be there's demand and
discovered,
and resellers that actually they provide that service and they make stuff available, and those are the ones that do the best.
Yeah, that goes into the question of brand direct. That has been a buzzword for the reseller community for the last year or so. Do you think brand direct is the future of reselling?
Yeah, I think it's a stronger future. It's not the only future, but if you get a brand or a direct relationship and say, you got to contract them for a year, that just is a strong way to continue investing in concert with the brand. And sometimes that can mean that the brand will be hey, here's some advertising budget to grow their brand.
Yeah, I think when you work with a brand, you're now in charge of a lot of things, including advertising.
Of course.
Which is something we'll touch on in a bit. but you're ultimately working like an agency, however,
Yeah.
in a wholesale model. So it's like a partnership
Yeah.
model,
Yeah.
correct? And so you mentioned it's not the only model. So that's interesting. So you do think that there's a blend for resellers in the
Sure,
future?
sure. Like there are niche distributors that like, cover different categories.
Hmm.
And I guarantee you for the next few years, still an opportunity
Yeah.
and still open. And I do want to emphasize like the niche distributors as like,
Yeah.
there's like the mainstream ones that
Hmm.
like, carry
Big names.
the big names, but like I think of, say a distributor that has like brands from Italy.
Mm.
And if you build a relationship, like you're going to find products that people are looking for
Hmm.
and want, like things that are maybe only found in Italy, but like, you bring them to market and you can do that through a distributor.
Hmm. I love that. I love that. So very niche,
Yeah.
very specific products. Yeah, I can see it. You're making me think about what I can do.
Yeah. Trust me, I see businesses all the time and like I get excited when I come across them. I'm like, you figured this out. Like, I wish I'm not going to put you on blast, but like, this
Yeah.
is a good way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of brands and brand direct, do you see third-party sellers still living in the Amazon ecosystem, or do you think that brands will be more direct
So
themselves on the
there's
platform?
tens of thousands of brands. And every brand has kind of a different approach.
Hmm.
And I've seen brands that have like gone direct and then actually exited as they're like, hey, we'd rather just have like a partner manage this channel for us. And so you get every approach to e-commerce from, like the spectrum is like doing it completely themselves to like relying solely on a reseller,
Third-party
a
sellers.
third party seller. And, you got some people in the middle. And
Yeah.
anything's, everyone has a kind of a different approach. And so,
There's always somebody to work
trust me,
with.
there was times where I was like, I wonder if like resellers are going to struggle through this environment. But
Hmm.
actually in this, 2025, still seeing some strengths,
Hmm.
especially even the businesses at the top. They keep getting bigger. They keep doing really, really well
Yeah.
because some brands, they're not built for like internally for e-commerce. They're not built for Amazon. They rather like trust a partner and like, and kind of go at it together.
Yeah. Find the right person for the
Yeah,
job
for sure.
and then not think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That makes a lot of sense. What I'm curious about is what your advice might be for someone doing 10K a month right now
Yeah.
versus someone who's doing 100K a month.
Yeah. If you're doing 10K a month, you probably have a lot of time on your hands in regards to like, once you get to 100K, you're probably doing a lot of like shipping and reordering.
Hmm.
That's like another scale higher. But like if you're at 10K, like you do need to just like interface and meet a lot of, this is my opinion, like you need to interface with a lot of suppliers, just talk, kick the tires, learn like, what products they have. Is there demand? Is Amazon in the marketplace? Is that demand being captured right now? I think I saw one product is like, I'm not seeing this. It was like a butterbeer kind of like knockoff brand. And I was like, this is not available on Amazon. If someone makes this available on Amazon, I guarantee you it's going to sell. And so if you're at that size, like you definitely need to be spending more of your time in sourcing from suppliers. Whereas if you're 100K, you probably have enough suppliers.
Yeah.
And it's more of like a scale of like, what's like, the internal operations of your business. How are you going to scale your logistics
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Optimization.
Yeah, yeah.
Figuring out, okay. In terms of these guys doing 10K a month, or let's say even 100K a month, if they wanted to spend more time finding brand direct deals, what would be your approach? What would you think to do?
I work with a lot of people that do this. There's not one way to do it. I know some
Yeah.
people that just cold call and just like and do that approach. We did better. My business did better at some point meeting them face to face.
Hmm.
Changes the
At conferences?
Yeah, at trade shows.
Okay.
And or like then another approach is like local suppliers.
Yeah.
There's just always something like, again, that actually kind of goes back to the face to face. There's just like something that
Is different.
that builds relationships like that.
Yeah. So in today's world, you still think face-to-face is very
Of
relevant.
course, it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
I
I
mean,
100% agree.
we could do this Amazon Accelerate conference all virtual and like, you know,
Yeah,
it'd have some engagement, but like in person, it's just like,
yeah,
it's next level.
yeah. Well, this business is very much relationship based,
Yeah.
and the human element is face-to-face.
Yeah.
And, when people want to do business with others, I've noticed that, you want to meet the other person
Yeah.
face-to-face. And so brand direct is going to be that.
Well, even think about on Amazon, like what actually like sells better is when people have like a video that like builds trust, you know? So it's just kind of like you said, like part of it is the business. Like it's either a relationship with like your supplier or a
Yeah.
relationship with your customer.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of people who think that they can just stay at home and cold call forever and hopefully they can plug and play.
Yeah.
It might work, right?
Yeah.
But you might have way better luck doing it face to face, or you might just have better efficiency when you
Yeah.
actually meet face to face. And this kind of goes into, you mentioned ads and you mentioned spending capital and managing ads for brands.
Yeah.
If someone's going to give you a budget in terms of like running ads, they're going to want to know you face to face.
Yeah.
I'm curious how you even worked with ads as a reseller.
So, I mean, I remember 2017, 2016 when like Amazon ads came about and like it represented an interesting way to grow our product exposure on Amazon. Like sometimes our product is really good, but it just isn't getting seen in the right spots. And so there's a variety of ways that we did that, you know, being clever with like the campaigns you create. And like, honestly, like it was actually profitable for us to get our products out there. And yeah.
Okay. Okay. So ads was a big portion as a reseller for you when you're working with brands?
I would say like a moderate portion. Like you kind of have to have that foundation first. You have to have your products there. You have to have the right price. You have to have all that. And it's kind of like, you know, how you add a little bit extra. And as a reseller, ads are very interesting because, you know, there's certain branded terms that actually you might perform really well with.
Yeah.
And might be very efficient. And then there's some ads, I think of like auto campaigns where, you know, you're like, hey, let's just like see what Amazon does. We're willing to spend for some of these extra clicks on these products. And you'll be surprised like how it can grow something. So, you know, a few different strategies as a reseller that, you know, that worked for us.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of resellers have misconceptions of ads as well in terms of the buy box and spending money on an ad that or on a listing that you're sharing.
Yeah.
And so I think from my experience, a lot of resellers are scared of ads. They just don't know anything about it. They think that they might be spending a bunch of money on a listing that, you know, they're sharing. But when we get into the world of brand direct, not only should you technically be the only person on that listing, and so, you know, you can actually take a budget and grow their listing, grow the brand on Amazon. I'm curious, in your past, what was your business in terms of brand direct versus just distributors?
Probably about 25% brand direct, where like we kind of had that relationship where we're like advertising became a critical part.
Yeah.
And then 75% advertising was probably like, hey, we want to like make sure it's profitable.
Yeah.
You know, there's some parts of our business where we were like short term, you know, profitable focus, and sometimes we're like long term, like exposure, brand building focused.
Okay. Okay. I'm assuming the brands want to see growth.
You know, no, and some actually they gave us, a few $1,000s a month to grow their channel, and so it just became part of. You know, it's very calculated when we're working with a brand to, you know, if they wanted to co-invest with us and make the channel grow, that became a part of the conversation.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Let's talk about the two letters that everybody's talking about now, AI.
Okay.
How are you using AI, or how would you use AI as a reseller?
Yeah.
You're using AI.
Of course.
As is everyone.
You know, from sourcing, you can it can build very intricate and intelligent lists to help you source. It obviously helps you with content. If you are creating product pages and you're not a graphic designer, AI is going to help you get it better. And even the latest updates in the last month, I'm even more I'm wow, a unexperienced reseller can make images as good as a graphic designer. That's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
And I've had different day-to-day operations, and I invested a lot in photography in 2018, thousands of dollars to improve images. And the fact that we could do it now, for almost free and behind a computer, and the person doesn't even be trained and can I'm just I wish AI was around 10 years ago.
Absolutely. I mean,
it would have been a lot of fun.
This moment right now as well marks a special moment because Amazon Ads just came out with their creative studio. I don't know if you noticed that,
I've
keynote.
Heard, I mean, I've seen very little, but I heard it was pretty impactful.
It's game changing, especially when we're working with brand direct.
Yeah.
And this is something I've been talking about more and more recently because when you're approaching these brands, you kind of want to show them what you can do for them, right? In your pitch, let's say. And then ultimately, when you do land them as a client, you then want to revamp their listings and run ads for them. And so with this new AI tool,
I was having a conversation yesterday with a brand, and this guy, he's not going to be using the AI tools. And so if you're able to lean in and be like, hey, here's some of the things I can do to grow your brand. Here's some image optimization. I can do that. For those people that don't adopt to AI, you now actually have a new tool to
edge.
You have a new edge to look good.
Yeah. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I had Scott Needham here, the CEO of Smart Scout, former buy boxer.
Thank you.
Wholesale legend in the reselling space. Thank you so much for being here.
Nick.
We talked a lot about some very good reselling stuff. And subscribe to the channel if you guys want to see more incredible guests like Scott. But thanks for being here, guys.
Thank you.